Hey guys, it's Tixie here and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm finally going to be sharing with you guys my open and honest thoughts on the Black Ops 7 matchmaking. This is purely going to be my opinion based off of my experience from playing the game. I've put about 17 or 18 hours into it. I've played solo, I've played as a duo, I've played as a team of 3, and I feel like I've ran enough matches to kind of get a general idea of kind of how things are working, at least from my point of view. Some of you guys may have experienced the same as me, some of you may have experienced different, and if you have, that is absolutely fine. I'm not coming in here today throwing around a load of facts and that I know absolutely everything about how the matchmaking works. I'm just going to give you guys my honest opinion on how I feel about it in comparison to the previous titles. Now, I've recorded this video a few times now, and I had a couple of ideas. I was going to compare my BO6 and BO7 stats, but to be honest, I'm just going to kind of free roll it here today and just say how I feel in the moment. So, coming into Black Ops 7, obviously the matchmaking was a huge part of at least why I bought the game, and I'm sure probably many other people are in the same boat. I mean, based off my initial Black Ops 7 beta experience with the standard skill base that we've come accustomed to in the last 5 or 6 years, I thought the game was very unenjoyable. It felt very, very similar to Black Ops 6, and I kind of had this feeling that if you're going to give me this same matchmaking system, I have absolutely no reason to buy this game. And I was finally going to bite the bullet and kind of go, do you know what, I'm not buying it this year. Then, out of nowhere, after years and years of complaining and asking questions about it, suddenly Treyarch are able to throw up this open mosh pit playlist that was kind of labelled as classic matchmaking. And within the beta, I certainly felt a difference straight away. It didn't mean that I was playing in bot lobbies. It didn't mean I was going absolutely crazy all the time. It just felt like there was a much better variation in lobbies, a lot more variation in terms of the weapons that were being used. And it just kind of felt a bit more like the good old days where you didn't have to go absolutely crazy every single game just to go like 29 and 29 or something stupid. Now, because of that experience in the beta, and obviously all of the positive feedback that followed that, Treyarch came out after the beta and said that the open matchmaking would be in multiplayer at full release across all of the multiplayer game modes, and persistent lobbies would be returning as well, which is another big thing that many of us in the COD community had wanted. Now, that all sounded great, and I sort of said to myself, do you know what, as somebody who's played COD for 15 plus years and created or started doing content in the skill-based era, I was like, I feel like I owe it to myself to at least get this game and see what the open matchmaking is like on release, because everything in me was like, the beta generally tends to have probably sweatier players playing it. So I thought on release, you're probably going to get a bigger player pool, so we'll probably get a better representation of how the open matchmaking is actually working. Now, the first kind of problem with this came a few days before Black Ops 7 release, when Treyarch came out and said that a standard skill-based matchmaking playlist would still exist. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking, well, why would anybody want to go over there? But I can assure you there's probably people playing in that playlist. There's certainly people 2-boxing and reverse boosting in that playlist, which is just really sad to see. But the problem with this for me is that then adds in some variation in terms of where all the player pool is. I think everybody should have been forced into open matchmaking, whether that was through a specific playlist or through the quick play filter. Adding in this variation of the standard mosh pit now means we don't have a true representation of who's actually playing in what playlist, right? Because if you go into the open matchmaking and you're having a rough time of it, you're probably going to go over to the standard Sbmm playlist where you might still have a few rough games, but you know the game's going to give you a few nice ones. You know, we know how it works, right? So that in itself was the first kind of issue. Now, one of the biggest issues I've had with Black Ops 7 is that I've had a lot of inconsistencies in lobbies, and I've not seen the variation I thought I would see. Now, I haven't dropped a nuke or anything crazy yet. I haven't even gone on more than the 15 kill streak, and I don't really care about that, and I don't massively care about my stats. It's just the fact that I would have expected to come into Black Ops 7 and see quite a bit of variation in the lobbies I'm getting. And I have kind of seen that, but I've not seen it how I would have expected to see it. I would think that every time I play, if I played 10 games every time I jumped on, I'd expect to see a couple where I do well, a couple where I do bad, a couple of competitive ones. but you can jump on sometimes and play for 3 hours and it just feels like skill-based matchmaking hell, and then suddenly something will change and then you'll have like an hour of really good lobbies. And I think what's frustrating about that is it still feels like there's something a little bit weird going on. I think that there's still this kind of feeling that I'm playing against a lot of good players. I think there is an element of it with the COD community where we've got skill-based matchmaking so embedded in our minds that mentally it's probably really hard to let go of that if you're ever playing against good players. But I think that there's certainly a big difference from the beta to full release, and that's what's really frustrating for me, because I wasn't going to play the game, and I feel like in a way they've kind of twisted my mind a little bit into buying the game, but now I'm not getting that same experience that I was getting in the beta. I think as well you've got the whole argument of people have got better. I agree to a certain degree. I do agree with that. I've always sort of said, yes, people have got better and people are playing on better equipment now, and if you're younger now, there's, you know, careers that you can build within the gaming industry, and if you're a very good player, maybe you could go professional one day, so you want to be the best version of yourself. But then the other thing coming into Black Ops 7 is they changed the aim assist, and people are saying that this is the worst aim assist has ever been, yet in the majority of lobbies, people still seem to be, you know, very good. People seem to be shooting straight. You know, I've played solo, I've played in a team of 2, I've played in a team of 3. Sometimes playing solo has been better, sometimes playing solo has been worse, sometimes playing as a team's been better, sometimes playing as a team's been worse. It's just, again, it's been very, very inconsistent. But one thing I would definitely say is I definitely feel like I haven't really played in that many lobbies at all where the other team have been pretty bad. Like, I might get lucky and get a lobby where they're not the best, but they've still got somewhere where, like, I'm not playing against horrible players, and I'm not saying I want to play against horrible players all the time, but you would expect with that variation to see that a little bit more frequently. I would say in skill-based matchmaking, I probably saw it more frequently because the game would eventually go, all right, here, Teeks, have an easy lobby because you've been struggling, right? So it feels weird to not see that kind of variation, and I don't know, I'm just stuck in that kind of rut at the moment where I'm convinced that something's not 100%. I'm convinced that they're not being completely truthful with us. I think it's hurt more this year because I actually went ahead and bought the game. Feel like I've been mugged off a little bit. Some people might say, well, you deserve that for supporting Call of Duty. Maybe that's true, but I just wish we knew exactly what was going on, because if this is what Call of Duty is now, you know, and this is just naturally where I am in the kind of, like, don't get me wrong, I've gone up from Black Ops 6, my stats have improved, so that means that there is obviously more variation. But normally I land in ranked play at about Diamond. So I know there's Crimsons, there's Iridescents, there's top 250s. I know I'm not the best player in the world, I've always said it, but I kind of fall in the above average category. But I still feel like I can't really get too much going here in Black Ops 7. And, you know, I don't know, it's just been a very kind of weird experience, and I just don't believe that the matchmaking is as reduced as they're making it out to be. But then online, I just see so many people posting about how this is the best COD in years and people need to stop moaning and the matchmaking is reduced. But then I see some of the clips and numbers that people are uploading, and I'm like, I'm pretty convinced people are still reverse boosting and 2-boxing and then making these statements, which is just stupid because they're not getting the same experience that we're getting. And when I look at my friends list, I'm kind of in the same zone as a lot of players around me that I know are good. Don't get me wrong, I've got some people on my friends list that have got much better stats than me, very good players. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced by the matchmaking at the moment in Black Ops 7. I'm going to stick with the game for now, like I said I would up until Christmas. But yeah, at the moment, the reduced matchmaking certainly hasn't been working as I thought it would. And either it's a case of it's not reduced, or maybe I'm not as good as I once was. I don't know, but you know, that's kind of where we're at, guys. So I hope you guys have found this video useful. If you found it informative, please do hit the like button down below. As always, please feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments based on your experiences. If you're brand new around here and want to find your way back for more, please do consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, guys, I hope everyone has a great day. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch you all in the next one.